Yes, my wife has been third, serving the community, taping my show, having fun with friends. That's what happens, guys. Never be too busy or never have too much fun beyond your wife. So I do.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Button 91. I am your favorite dating and relationship coach. We're giving you guys a part 2 of this video. We already did in part 1. We said the reason why Judge Mathis and his wife are getting a divorce is because he did not prioritize his wife and he ignored her. Okay. Sorry, I shouldn't say ignored, but he didn't make her a priority. Okay. And that's the reason why he's in a divorce situation right now. So we're gonna talk about this video because I think it's really important to break some things down. And I think it's important to be able to have conversation about this and give you guys some solutions to how this actually can be saved. This is not an irreconcilable, or so I say irrevocable, or a situation that's broken forever. This actually can be saved. It just requires both people to participate and be a part of the process of healing in this situation. So I'm going to give you guys some solutions, a bit of a breakdown on how we're going to able to save this particular marriage and what needs to be done as well. So if you're new to the channel, do me a massive favor before I get to that place. You're liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing. I'm loving the fact that you guys are blowing up the videos now, and I really do appreciate that. We're back in business, baby, bringing you guys the great content to help you guys heal, transform, and grow your relationships. I want to let you guys know also, I do coach, but at the moment, my coaching books are full of them, full of them, full. You understand what I'm saying to you? We are full to November, and a week before I go to Ghana, so it's going to be a little bit too close for me. So what I'm gonna do is I have opened up some emergency queue jumping spots. So if you want a meeting right away, there is a queue jump a link down below in the description box. You can choose that. It will cost you a little bit more, but trust me, it's worth it. Or alternatively, maybe you just want someone to have a network conversations with. Join us on the 5th of September. Come join the community. We have a conversation every month. We're going to talk about Judge Mathis. We'll talk about Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, all those people in the video. But let's get into this video. I want to break it down for you and give you guys some solutions as to why this particular relationship has broken down. Now, if you don't know anything about Judge Mathis' situation, he admitted that he neglected his wife. He admitted that his wife wasn't his first priority. He admitted that he was spending too much time with work. He admitted that, within reason, that it wasn't necessarily cheating, but, he would understand why his wife might feel that way because of the fact he spends so much time outside of the home. So I said, okay, what I'm hearing and what I'm hearing from him, this requires some solutions. And here are the solutions that we need to be looking at. First and foremost, okay, we need to be what we need to be doing is validating feelings. Okay, now there are two sides of the story. It cannot only be her. He has to also, his feelings have to also be validated. So before anyone jumps down on the bandwagon of he has to validate her feelings alone, no. It takes two to tango, whether you're the person who did the crime or not. It takes two to tango. And the first thing we should be doing is validating each other's feelings. Here's how it's going to go. She feels like she wants him to stay, she wants to spend more time with him, and clearly he wants to spend more time outside. Here is the problem. You've got two people who have two different agendas, okay? And the word we're going to use here to combine it is negotiation. Above it all is negotiation. That's the last thing we're going to focus on, but it's the thing that should be in your first thought in your mindset. That there has to be a place of negotiation in a relationship when we have situations like this, okay? So what's going to happen is this. First, let's validate each other's feelings. That's the first thing, right? And we do that first by saying, do you know what? Let's say, for instance, Judge Mathis will say to the wife, I can really understand why you feel the way you feel. I really do understand why, you're feeling like you're distant from me or isolated, or you feel like you want a divorce from me right now because I've not done X, Y, and Z, which I promised I would do in the past. I said I was going to stay at home. I said I was going to spend more time with you. I said I was going to do these things. And I can validate that I understand why you feel so hurt right now in this season. Do you know what the wife is going to have to do? She's going to have to validate his feelings too. Here's why. Because if he's really honest and he comes to the table, he should tell her the truth. The truth is he doesn't want to come home all the time. When I say come home, what I really mean by this is he doesn't want to be stuck at home. He's still got a lot of life to live. Whether it's going out with his boys, whether it's doing community service, or whether it's him filming the shows. Clearly, he still feels he has a lot to contribute. So he's never going to stop that. Trying to stop him would cause you to have more carnage. It's like stopping a river that's flowing. So what do we have to do? Validate how he feels. The wife can be like, hey, Mathis, I really see, that I really appreciate the fact that you do a lot of community work. And I can understand that you want some time alone to be with your boys and to do the work that you're doing. I know you get a lot of validation from a lot of goodness, a feeling of goodness and love when you do the work that you actually do. So I understand that you're going to need some time alone to be able to spend time with your boys and your hobbies, and also to want to be filming your shows and everything like that as well. I understand it, right? Okay, so we validate each other's feelings. That's number one. Okay, so we both understand where each other are coming from. Now we're going to go into a breakdown called BEC, right? Behavior, explanation, change. Okay, and what I like to do is that we want to put the cherry on top first. Okay, we want to put a cherry on top of the cake, because the cake is the main body, but we want the cherry on top because it makes it appeasing, appetizing, and makes it easier to consume the cake. Here we go. Here's the cherry. The cherry stands for compliment. Okay, we're gonna compliment the other party. So, for instance, he's gonna say to the wife, you know what? You've been with me for the last 39 years. You have supported me. You have loved me. You've cared about me. You have made sure that I was successful. You've done all these things for me, and I really appreciate it. Like, there's no one else who could have done what you did. You know what I mean? Compliment. Now let's talk about her perspective. Compliment. She might say, hey, you know what? You've been there for me. You've provided. You've made sure the family's safe. You've made sure you paid all the bills. You've taken me out on dates. You've done this. You've done that. You've done this. You've done that. Right? And I really appreciate you, being in my life. That's a compliment. Now we're going to give them the BEC breakdown, the behavior, explanation, or emotion and change. I like to put the B and E together because it makes it easier. Here's what the behavior and explanation is, right? The wife is going to say, do you know what? I want to be honest. And I want to be very careful, words here are very important. We don't want to say, we're not going to say you. When I say you, what I mean by that is, you do this, you do that. It's when you do, I feel. It must always be reverted back to the individual, because we don't know their intention. We only know how we feel. We can only know how we feel. Cool. So here we go. From the wife's perspective, what she's going to say is this. For the B, right? She's going to say, when you decide to take 3 weeks out, because he took 3 weeks out, by the way, to go out and do filming without her for 3 weeks, okay? When you do 3 weeks out, in fact, let me even find a little clip if I can on that, so you can actually watch it as well, so that you can have a little bit of a perspective. There we go. Okay, cool. I've got it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
I was gone for 3 weeks. That's what July 17th meant.
Would you say you two are in a good place right now, or able to maintain?
So he was gone for 3 weeks, okay? That's what July 17th meant. Okay, so when she wants to address this, she's going to say, hey, babe, listen, when you went for 3 weeks, okay, behavior. I'm going to add the E now. The behavior is, when you went away for 3 weeks, here's explanation and emotion. I felt like you had abandoned me, or you had left me isolated. I felt like you didn't care about me. I felt unseen. I felt unheard, because we had discussed this some months ago about you staying at home and not necessarily traveling as much as you did previously. So I am feeling, when you went on that trip, behavior, linking back to emotion, when you went on that trip for 3 weeks, I felt betrayed because we had discussed this already. You promised, and when you broke the promise, I felt like you didn't care about me. I felt like you didn't love me. I felt like you weren't taking me seriously. I felt neglected. I felt this, that. Behavior and explanation. Okay? Right? So she's let him know that, right? Okay. And so on the flip side, we can talk about his thing where he needs to say to her as well at the same time, because she may not have done anything wrong, but he needs to be honest about what he feels. So when he says, look, I took 3 weeks out to go and film, right? When I took 3 weeks out to go and film, the reason why I did that is because I really needed time to really be autonomous, and I needed time to really recalibrate. I needed time to refresh myself. It wasn't personal against you, but I needed to be able to have some time alone to really allow my mind to function and think about things. Now, before you scream, he should have thought about her. Pause. We know already he should have thought about her, but you criticizing right now ain't gonna help. We need to understand where he's coming from, and you need to understand where he needs to understand where you're coming from. So before you jump down the criticism aspect, let's get that where the person's coming from. He took 3 weeks out. Why did he take 3 weeks out? He needs to explain that in the explanation and the emotion. The explanation is, I took 3 weeks out because I needed a bit of time to be able to film the show, and I work best when I'm doing things usually alone, right? And I felt like I felt like by taking that time out, I'll be able to finish the work and get home to see you, and be able to love on you. That's an explanation, right? Okay, he explained it, right? So, you know, it felt good to be, it felt good. The reality is it felt good to be alone. It felt good to spend some time with myself, to be able to do the work I need to do, because I take a lot of love from doing the work that I do. That's the emotion, right? But now we're going to go into the big C. And the big C is all about change. What is it we want to see happen? What change do we want to see happen in the relationship? And the change could be here. She might say to him, in future, okay, in future, when you want to go on a trip, maybe she'll say, I want to come along. I want to come along for 3 weeks. Or rather than you taking 3 weeks, you take a week out and you plan some dates, or you plan this or whatever that we're gonna do, that we're gonna spend time together, and you honor that. That's what I want to see in future. I want to see that you're a man of your word, and when you say that you're gonna spend time with me, you honor that word that you said. And then the flip side is also from him. He can say in future, he may agree. He may not have nothing wrong to. He might say you're actually right, or he may say, listen, in future, I want to be able to spend time away, without feeling guilty for spending time doing what I love doing, which is helping the community, serving the community, doing the projects I want to do. Now, here's going to be the big problem. He wants to still do what he's doing. She wants more of his time. We don't want necessarily a compromise. We want negotiation. What is the difference between a negotiation and a compromise? Well, the compromise is that you get a little bit of what I want, you get a little bit of what you want. Whereas we go for negotiation, I'm willing to give and take based upon my actual needs of what I actually want. And so when you're going for the negotiation, we must also describe what we want to see. So in the negotiation, what we're doing is we're really trying to make it clear that each person can get something in exchange for something their partner wants. So you want something, they want something. What does he want? He wants time alone. She wants time with him. So we have to negotiate how that looks like. So it may be that she will say, hey, you know what? I don't want to stop you from doing the work you're doing, but I do want your time. So what if we come up with a plan that you spend, 3 weeks of the month at home, and you take a week out to go and film? And he may say, hey, I love that idea, but I'm going to be honest with you, I really do need 3 weeks because I need to film X, Y, and Z film for my show. We've got a showdown now, because now they've agreed to a point, but they haven't agreed. We've got a bit of a showdown, right? But remember, the needs need to be met, right? So he needs to have some time alone. She needs time with him. We need to be able to negotiate again. So she may have to go, okay, can we do a rolling contract then? So can we do that? You're going to film for 3 weeks, all right, for this first month, but the next 4 months you can't film. So you film in those 3 weeks, all the shows you need to film, but you can't film for the next 3 months or whatever. You have to stay at home. I'm willing to compromise on that. I'm willing to negotiate, not compromise, negotiate on that aspect, right? Because then she still gets him at home, okay? And he can go, do you know what? Let's work on that basis, right? Let's say I do 3 weeks. I'll look at the schedule. I'll book in 3 weeks. I'll go away, film for 3 weeks. Better yet, she may say, actually, may not know unless it work for her. She might say, do you know what, Aldo, I want to come along for the 3 weeks. And he may say, you know what, I know you want to come along for 3 weeks. I really need my space. Now, 3 weeks for me is audacious. I don't think we need 3 weeks at this point in time. But hey, we're just discussing it for the process. Again, negotiation could be that he may say, okay, I don't want you there for the 3 weeks because I just need to be able to focus. I like to have the sole focus and focus on what I'm doing. She may say, well, when you do that, it makes me feel like you don't want me around, right? So can we negotiate again? Let me come and stay on set for a week or two. And he can go, again, it's all about being able to negotiate. What do you actually need? She needs time. And he needs time alone. So we need to negotiate those things in the conversation. So negotiation is about bringing to the table your actual needs. So if you don't know your needs, we've got a problem. So you need to be able to articulate your needs clearly to be able to negotiate. The problem we have is that people don't say what they actually feel a lot of times. They don't know actually what their needs are. And so when they're having to explain it, the negotiation goes wrong because actually maybe you agreed to something, but then next week you're like, that's not how I really felt. Oh, damn, there's nothing worse than you agreeing to something and then later on it happens up. You must know what you need. So I said number one is validation. Number one is actually never have this conversation when emotions are aroused, because you're going to say stuff that you don't actually mean. And number two, you need to say what you actually need and want and not pretend as if you're okay with something when you know you're not okay with it. You need to be able to be assertive in your communication and be able to be true and say, actually, this is actually what I want. I got what you want. I got what you need. You know, you need to be able to do that, right? So that's very important too. Okay, very very important. That's also needed as well in the situation, um, and that's also something that we need to also be looking for as well. Okay, so it's important to understand that we need the thing to be able to grow in a particular way, and need to be able to work with how we're moving and shifting, but we need to negotiate. Okay, and we negotiate when we know what our needs are and what our agenda is, and we don't have to lose. You know what I'm saying to you? The compromise will be like, okay, both of us don't like both of us want to eat at a certain restaurant, and then you say I want to eat at Pizza Hut or pizza. You want to have Kentucky Fried Chicken. We're like, okay, well, we'll just order Chinese. That's a compromise. None of us got what we wanted. What we can say is we'll eat KFC, we'll eat Chinese, we'll eat pizza today, but to next week we're gonna eat whatever I want to eat. That's more of the negotiation. So right now it could be like, listen, actually, for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you film, but I want you for the next 3 months. Stay at home, be there. Okay, cool. Right? He's got the 3 weeks that he wanted, and she's got the time that she wants. And then she may go further and say, within those 3 months, I want you to plan some dates. I want you to plan some time together. I want to see you actually leading that aspect. How does it look? Okay. So remember, BEC. Behavior, explanation, and change. But on top of that is another C. Okay, so it's CBEC, and what that is compliment. Compliment the party. Bring them in. Let them feel like you love them and care about them before you then unload the criticism, because it does feel like criticism. And I'm having to work on this aspect. It's very hard sometimes to do, but I want you to work on that aspect too, right? So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. Let me know your thoughts. Also, we're doing coaching around this stuff. So if you're in a relationship and maybe you feel like this is something you're dealing with, then reach out to me. I've still got emergency slots there. I still got queue jump slots there. My normal booking is finished. We are booked up for the rest of the year. Sorry to say it, okay? But we do have some queue jumps left that you can book in before the end of the year. I would love to see you guys as well. Make sure you like, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you. Make sure you join our 100 Club as well. There's a link down below in the description box. Come and join us offline. It's going to be a vibe.